Okay, I think we could be live. Let's have a look. Yeah, we've got people in the room. So if people want to let me know that, good morning. Jackie, first on parade. Good morning. Danny, good morning. And Dee. John, Irma, Bethan, good morning, everybody. And you can hear me fine, yes? I'm not a robot this week. Good morning, Elaine and Michelle. Yep, you can hear me. Everything's good. Okay, well, we're just going to make a little bit of small talk until we actually get to 11 o'clock. I've come on a little bit early today. Good morning, Leafia. Carly, good morning. Jill, Darren, good morning. And Francesca, good morning. Kay, hi. Good morning, Perry. And Lucy and Dee at the salon. Amazing. Maria, good morning. Just keeping my eye on the room. It's filling up fast, so that's good. And we are streaming live on the P4H Stylist Hotline, I believe, is where we're streaming. Maybe someone can confirm that for me to make sure I've got that right. It is 11 o'clock, yes, and the room's filling up. Good morning, Emma, Gary. Good morning, Georgia. And Julie and Matt, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I've got the wrong glasses on again. I've got reading glasses, and that's actually better for me when I'm doing a webinar, but I forgot because, believe it or not, it's really quite busy at Passion for Hair. Good morning, Andy and Angie. Good morning. Let's have a look at the time. It is 11 o'clock. Emma, good morning. It's 11 o'clock. Daniel, streaming is good. Where are we streaming, Daniel, please? Just let me know. Is it P4H Leadership or P4H Stylist Hotline? Just so that I know, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's 11:01, so we'll get going for good. Not for good, for real. And good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. We got the result that we wanted. Well, let's start the housekeeping first. So the housekeeping, we have got going there the chat here on the webinar. We encourage you to chat. It's a great way for our community to be communicating and networking, so that's fantastic. We encourage that. When you chat, it comes up in a white box. If you want to ask a Q&A mode is not let me have a look. Let me see if I can do that because I'm not sure that Declan is. Thank you. So we've got Q&A mode enabled. If you want to ask a question, if you look down the bottom there, you can see there's a little question mark. Questions come up in a blue box. It means that it gives me the opportunity to see it easily as we go along. So questions are good. Feel free to ask your questions as we go along. Once you've asked a question, you have to go back to the other chat mode. If you make a mistake, don't worry, it's not an exam. But if it keeps coming up in blue, then it keeps getting my attention. For those of you that are maybe following us on the live stream on Facebook in the Passion for Hair Education and Stylist Facebook group, you'll have to have your own chat mode going on over there. You won't be able to see this chat mode. I can't see that chat mode, but Daniel will moderate over there. And if there are any questions, Daniel can bring them into this forum here. But it does mean that we have an opportunity for more people to get to see live. Not everybody can get into the webinar. And it is being recorded, so it will go up on our Passion for Hair YouTube channel, where all 6 of this webinar series, 6 of the best, all 6 of them are available, and we'll see why. So let me see. You've got fear of missing out on the other group, Maria. Well, of course, if you've got a tablet and a phone, or a computer and a phone, or a computer and a tablet, or whatever you've got, you can access both if you want to. That'd be great because I can't. So this is the last in the series. we got the announcement that we wanted from Boris, and sure enough, we are open from next week, and I can confirm it is the 2nd. What a shit show. And shit show, by the way, is actually a word. It's in the dictionary. So have a look it up if you want to. But what a mess they are making of it. But anyway, swiftly moving on, we're happy. Doesn't matter whether your area goes into tier 1, 2 or 3, your salon is going to be open. That is really good news. That means that the government have taken note of the fact that infection rates in salons are extremely low, and we are not contributing to the infection rate. It's 0.05%, the contribution. And I'm sure it's not any of our salons. We know which kind of salons are probably contributing. And I hope that what happens is that, because my personal view, and this is only my personal view, the problem is not the measures or the restrictions. The problem is the enforcement, because people don't stick to them, right? Which is stupid, because all that's happening is it's affecting us all long term. So let's hope the enforcement becomes a little more prevalent and active. So that is all good. I do want to also share with you, while we're talking about that, it is my belief, and it's only my belief, that Boris will not shut us down again. I do not believe he will lock us down again. I don't. There's no evidence, as I said, that there's infection rates due to salons. Now that could happen in areas where infections get really out of control. I'm not sure, but let's hope that is the situation. So last in the series, my goal today, because we go back next week to work, my goal today is really to inspire everybody to get ready and make the most of the opportunities. Whilst this has been a terrible time, and there's no denying that it has, there are silver linings, and there are things about what has happened that I think have been real positives for us individually, but also for our industry. It's propelled our industry to a different place. Our industry is a very different place than it was a year ago, and I do believe that will continue as long as we want it to. So let's carry on with what we are doing here. Where are we? So today, a little change round of my slides. Today is called Business Elegance. Well, why? What does that mean, business elegance? Here's the definition of elegance: the quality of being stylish. And I hope that you all have your own value of being stylish, being in the fashion industry. So we want to be stylish and graceful in appearance and manner. So of course it's really important that we look good, but manner, it is the way that we present ourselves, the way we speak, the way we move, the way we treat people. That is part of elegance. It's such a beautiful word, elegance, right? Because here's the next part of it. It has this added meaning that says pleasingly ingenious and simple. And what does it mean to be ingenious? Well, ingenious means innovative, creative, coming up with solutions, and that's us, isn't it? I mean, what a great word, elegant, elegance. It's got such a lot of meaning, and it's so perfect for the hairdressing industry and for hairdressers. So I can see there Matt's put IKEA is ingenious. I don't know if you guys saw, IKEA are charging £5 for click and collect if your order is under £100. I mean, only IKEA could get away with that. It's absolutely amazing. So anyway, business elegance. So what we're talking about today, and what we're really getting ourselves ready for, is how do we encapsulate this elegance, and how do we use that and portray that in our business and in what we're doing. So the quality of being stylish and graceful in our appearance, our manner, and being pleasingly ingenious and yet simple, right? So really taking the really making the most out of the opportunity that has been given to us, right? Leaving behind, you know, all the negative effects of this COVID situation, but saying, right, how do we use this in an elegant way, ingeniously, to turn it to our opportunity? So let's have a look at the 6 programs that we have had over the last 3 weeks. So we started with your path of personal greatness. Now, I encourage you to go back and have a look at some, and I know many of you have, because of the amount of you that have asked me, where do I find it? Where are the links? But not only yourself go back and have a look, encourage other members of your team or other people that you work with to watch these webinars. So we started off with your path of personal greatness, and it really is, the amount of success that you will achieve in your career and in your life will be equally measured by the amount of effort and desire and ambition that you put into it. And this industry, one of the things I love most about this industry is the opportunity people have to be able to really carve out a great career for themselves. And yes, I've seen people, you know, not make the most of it, and they make excuses about, you know, it's someone else or something else or whatever it is. No, in my opinion, if you want to make a great career out of hairdressing, and if you want to make money out of hairdressing, you can, right? But you know, you have to make sure that you get the right ingredients, and then you really engage yourself, right? Really engage yourself in your career and put everything you've got into it. And so those are some of the things we're going to talk about today. Number 2, we did fun facts to improve your knowledge, and hopefully you really enjoyed that one. Daniel and I chose some fun facts to present, but there's plenty of other stuff. What we really wanted to do there was really inspire everybody and help everybody to understand there's always more to learn. One of the biggest frustrations I have, it's not the first time I've shared it with you, is, you know, the amount of hairdressers in our industry that really do not make time and effort to be improving themselves. And technology in our industry has moved forward in the last 10 years immensely and is still moving forward. And there are people who are still using, you know, rules from a decade ago, right? And we see it on these forums. It's absolutely ridiculous. It drives me nuts. You know, to see some of the things that advice people are giving each other, and etc., which is so outdated. But that's not people in this group, right? Or your colleagues. So number 3, we talked about exploring campaigns. And one of the things that we can really elevate our campaigns is by bringing them to life, you know, in the salon. I love that infographic that Daniel really came up with, you know, where he showed all the ways that we can communicate, social media platforms and email, etc. And right at the end there was a picture of a salon, and he said one of the most important places to communicate is in the salon. By the way, and this is not part of the program, but let me see, when you put your orders in, if you are taking part in Salon Love, please remember to request these. So there's 2 Christmas ones. There's this one, who's left on your list, right? You can put them on your styling positions, who's left on your list, and on there it tells people how they can shop with Salon Love. And on there it's also got the website as well as the app. Okay, there's another one which says more ways to shop with us at Christmas. It's not meant to take sales away from you. It's meant to help build your sales. When your client sees this in the salon, who's left on your list, right, she might buy in the salon, right? More ways to shop. Can we have that to share on socials? Yes, you can. Actually, Daniel, can you make a note, please? I can get that up there as soon as I get back. You sure can. So exploring campaigns. So we talked about, really having campaigns and thinking about how we front to back that. And by the way, we've been working on some new stuff too for you guys with campaigns. Where you will not only will we give you the pictures now, we're also going to give you some dialogue with the pictures to make it real easy for you to be able to plan your social media, to promote to promote what you do in your salons, make it really nice and easy. I think Lenka's watching, so is Lenka watching? If not, Daniel is in the office with her. He'll be able to tell her about that. So then we did extraordinary team culture. There's only so much we can achieve alone. And we did about the shapes, and we did about transactional analysis, and how we can really build our emotional intelligence, right, through understanding people and what makes them tick. And it's a very, very important thing. Last week I had tremendous feedback from everybody on the webinar, Profit is Everyone's Responsibility. So my tubes of colour seemed to work well, running backwards and forwards there with those. I didn't know how well that was going to work out. You'll remember that I did start that webinar by saying, okay, I'm going to do something I've never done before. But anyway, tremendous feedback from that. Again, you must share it with everybody so that everyone understands, what it means to be profitable. You see, there are many things that we've all learned through this. And one of the things we've learned is if the business isn't profitable, right, the business won't survive and we'll all lose our job. So we don't want that. Digital versions of those are already available. Thank you, Daniel. Profit is everyone's responsibility. And then today we're doing business elegance, and we know what elegance means. We want to be able to portray ourselves. One of the things that I do believe is out of this, the opportunity of the hairdresser is immense. I've always believed that anyway. One of the things that we love about hairdressing is that we can earn more money next week than we did last week, right? That's one of the beauties. Now, the downside of it is you can earn less money next week than you did last week. But I can only speak for my own team at Feathers, and also for other hairdressers where I've had very close conversations. But since the 4th of July, my team are earning more money, right, since the 4th of July. Now, can you tell me, everybody, if that's your experience? You're getting lots of new clients. We're getting more quality of client, etc. Yes, so we've already seen the benefit of this. And the more professional we are, the more people want to come and visit us. And so we need to encapsulate this and move it forward. Our industry has been elevated. We've talked about this. We've been elevated from we were retail, then we were hospitality, then suddenly they went, no, hang on a minute, there's more to these people than meets the eye. And now we're called personal care services, and we're right next to the dentist and the optician. I love it. I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait to see what the next decade brings our industry. I don't want to wish time away, right? Because I've not got very much of it left. But if I see during the rest of my career in hairdressing, if I see our industry elevated to where it should be, I will be one very happy person. So this is really important, guys. When we look back at what has happened to our industry in the last 2 decades, with the working time directive, etc., it was becoming very worrying, as to how the industry was ever going to find a way to survive. But this is it. I know it, I feel it. So we've been elevated. Let's ride it and let's push it. Right? I know, hairdressers say, I can't wait to go back to normal. Please, I do not want to go back to normal. I don't want it. So let's ride the wave. That's why that wave is there. And let's keep the momentum, right? Just because we go back, we haven't got to jump off the wave. The wave is still moving. So like a good surfer, ride that wave all the way to the end. Yes? Is everyone getting that understanding? And how do we do that? So how do we do that? How do we ride that wave, and how do we keep that momentum? Not everyone's going to do it, by the way. Human nature is to go back to the old way. I think everybody that's on here, everybody that's watching right now, has probably undertaken the exercise with me where we clasp our hands together like this and we know which thumb is on top. Then I ask you to take them away and clasp them back the other way. Right? And everyone go, how does that feel? People go, uncomfortable, funny. Do it with me if you want to. Doesn't matter if you're sitting there just with your dog, right? So, or your cat, Maria. So every time I've spoken to Maria the last few times, she goes, look at my cat. I'm like, anyway, you need to get out more, Maria. You need to get back to work. So, but your cat's beautiful. But that funny, uncomfortable. Now we go back to the other way. Okay, everybody goes, that's better. It's more comfortable. So human nature is to go back to the old way, what they call normal. Now I hate that saying the new normal. I hate it, right? But what we don't want is the old normal. All right, we don't want to go back to normal. We don't want to, right? So let's keep the momentum. The old way, Andy put the old way doesn't exist. It doesn't at the moment, Andy. But for some people are pushing to have it that way. So, those people that are not doing the measures, right, working to the standard of the measures, those people, they're holding on to the old way. People who are only wearing a mask and not the visor or goggles. You can wear goggles, remember, but make sure you've got the right ones. Those people, they're pandering for the old way. So as soon as there's a crack that they can slip back through, they will, right? And some will do it because they want to save money, and some will do it for whatever reasons. I just don't know. So, there are people that will go back there as soon as they can. Now, there's been a reset. Okay? And we need to make sure that we cement that reset. Somebody there put 90 days have passed, right? And they say it takes 90 days to do to change a habit. I hadn't counted them up, so I'll take your word for it, Andy. But yeah, that's what we're saying. So there's been a reset in attitudes. So here's the other thing. How do we make sure that we have that reset permeate through to your skill? And that's what we were talking about in some of our 6 of the best. How have I elevated my skill? How have I elevated my knowledge? How have I elevated my performance? And it's really very important. I've seen so many hairdressers who have really benefited from this, and I've seen others who haven't. So, in terms of performance, it's really very important. Performance, of course, is the results that we get. And if that's not where you are at the moment, then you must reach out and make sure that you benefit from that. Excuse me. So that reset, okay, has happened. It was forced upon us. But we must make sure, if you're still one of the people who thinks it's going to go back to normal, your reset's not finished. If you're one that panders to go back to the old way, your reset's not finished. If you are one who is looking and saying it will never be what it was before, we don't know what it will be in the future, but it definitely won't go back to the old way, then your reset is in line with where we are. Keep pushing that reset, and that's what I'm trying to that's the message I'm trying to get over here. We can keep forging forward to a new frontier, and we will benefit massively for doing that. And then lastly, you can earn more next week than you did last week. This really could be, I was having a conversation with a hairdresser earlier in the week, and she was telling me about a friend of hers who actually, she said, during this time, it's been very good for her career. I'm so sorry. I don't even know how that, my phone is over there. It's not even here, but it comes, you know, Apple, they all connect together. Where was I? Help me out. Right, with a hairdresser at the beginning of the week, I was indeed. So she has a friend who's not in hairdressing at all, and she was saying that her friend's career has been elevated and helped, and in fact, during this year, so since this pandemic started, her friend has had 2 promotions within her business, and there's been a lot of redundancies, but her friend has been promoted twice. But she said in both of her promotions, she did not get a pay increase. So she's doing more work. She's got more responsibility. It is elevating her career, but they haven't given her a pay rise, and she's not in control of that. And the hairdresser was sharing it with me, because this hairdresser said one of the things that has really clicked for her, she said, I just can't believe it. One day it just clicked, and I looked and I thought, my God, I'm full every day. You know, I've been promoted and I'm charging top price. And how did this happen? And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistency of always doing the things that you know are the right things to do, always looking at ways to improve, whether it be dialogue, skill, knowledge, all of those things, finding ways to help your client get better results herself. So it is a fabulous opportunity we have in our industry, and we've got to keep pushing that forward. Matt, leave her alone. So what are some of the things that we should be doing in this next week running up? Re-watch the webinar series, re-watch it. You know, that there's evidence to show it's not even possible to pick up all the information in one go, depending on what was happening when you were watching it the first time will depend. You know, like when you see a movie for the second time and you see new things in the movie, right? So re-watch the webinar series. You can go back and find it on P4H YouTube channel. See what else you can pick up, and make sure you are using and developing it as much as you can. So do it for yourself. Get your team, encourage your team to do it, and take time as a team to train and develop. And this is a message if this only gets to my feathers team, right? So you don't have to watch all the webinar with the team. There could be a bit that you say, that's a really good bit of the webinar and it punches home the point, right? So you could just use some parts of the webinars to be able to get the message over to the rest of the team. And you can see there is somebody with the magnet, right? Attracting the results to them, attracting the money to them, right? So that's what I want you to do. Now, I want us to really, there were lots of things I could talk to you about today. I particularly wanted to keep this to 1 hour because I've no doubt you've all got lots that you want to get done before next week, I am sure. So I was thinking about all the things we could talk about and we could do. And I decided if we, we could talk about 8 essential steps. And by the way, if you want to actually just check this out, Daniel, I was going to check this out before I come online. 8 essential steps on P4H Stylist Hotline, an education page. Can you just check out the 8 essential steps is a file in there? Also check, please, Daniel, that it's a file in P4H Leadership. So I thought about talking about that, but not every salon is a Euphora salon and it is a Euphora program. However, we share information about it. You know, years ago, when I was a member of 365, we never published anything about 5-step recipe because Leslie always used to say, no, we want to make it as difficult to copy as we possibly can. Now, you see in Euphora, we have published a program. It's called the 8x8 program. It's published. Anyone could get their hands on it and anyone could see it. And, you know, one of the things that Beth and I believe is that it's difficult enough with all the training we give and, you know, all the support we give and all the tools we give. It's difficult enough to get people that have been trained to do it consistently. So anybody who has an opportunity to read the program and get something out of it, good luck to them, right? If they can make that work for them, they deserve to have it. So that 8x8 program is there. We're going to find out from Daniel in a minute exactly where we have published it so you can go and find it. Now, here's what I want you to know, hairdressers. Some of you here have had years of training on how to deliver, you know, perfect, great service to your clients, right? Knowing and not doing is worse than not knowing. Knowing and doing is worse than not knowing. Why? Why do I say that? I'm being really patient. I can see a couple of people typing. Right? Knowing and not doing is worse than not knowing. Why do I say that? Tells me people are typing. Maybe they're because you have chosen to not do it. You have chosen, thanks, Harry, you have chosen not to do it. If you know and you don't do, it's a choice to not do. If you work for me and you choose not to do it, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. There are places you can work where you can choose not to do it. Go and find one of them. But when you work for me, we will train you. We'll spend money, time, resource, effort, helping you to become the best hairdresser that you can be. If your choice, which by the way is an attitude, is to not do it, then you're in the wrong place. And my manager's here. You let me know when that happens and we deal with it, right? We don't want people falling below our standard as a choice. We don't want it. So you've chosen to ignore it. Someone's put you've fallen below your standard. That's correct by choice. Andy said it's stupidity. It is, Andy, because what it is as well is laziness. It's somebody who is content, happy to earn the minimum wage. And do you know what I say to hairdressers who are content and happy earning the minimum wage? Go and find a hairdressing salon where that's their standard, or do yourself a favour and go and work for Tesco's, because they won't put so much pressure on you. Because in my salons, there's pressure on you to improve your results and to better your career and to give the clients more and more and more. There's pressure on you. So when people sit there and they cry because they've got a bit of pressure being applied, I'm like, listen, make it easy for yourself. Go and work for Tesco's. You can get the minimum wage there, and it's a little bit easier than it is working for me. So you're letting yourself and your client down. And Elaine said it's stupid. It's cost money, it's cost resource. Amazon are paying £13.45 an hour. Are they? God, not round here. We have loads of Amazon warehouses here. But anyway, they are paying more than the minimum wage in Amazon. I think they're on about I think here they're on like £10 an hour. So it's very, very important that we make the right decisions and do the right things. Particularly, what I want us all to understand is this: we're not the only people that have had a reset in our attitudes, in our thoughts, in our behaviours. We're not the only ones. Other people have also had a reset, right? And for some of them, that reset is that they want to choose a higher standard of social life so that they can cut down the chances of germs or other things. We have become a nation of germaphobes, and that is not going to change. And for some people, it's very serious. For me, it's very serious. I even take with me wet wipes, right? And some places I go, I did this before the pandemic. Some of you have travelled with me on a plane, and I take wet wipes with me, and I start cleaning like my seat and the table in front. I mean, I think back to like sometimes when you get on those planes, I'm not going to say any brand of plane, right? But you get on there and there's like food on the tray and kids have, so it's not only us that's changed our attitudes, other people have too. And we can become, I know that everybody that's on here wants to be that business that is seen as, the best, not only in hair, right, but also in hygiene and standards and et cetera, all those things. Now, one thing actually, before I just go on to these 4 R's, one thing. Do you remember when we were at this stage at the end of the last lockdown, and the last webinar that I did, and I think it was called, who can remember what it was called? It was called Going Back. It wasn't Going Back. It was Getting Ready, whatever it was. And one of the first questions I said, who's nervous about going back, right? Do you remember? And loads of people were nervous about going back because it was unknown, it was new. This time we haven't got that. We know what we're going back to. They are announcing tomorrow if there are any new measures, but I don't believe, and I cannot see that there are any new measures with hairdressing than the ones that have been published. Now, there are a lot that are not being used already, like for an example, we're supposed to contact the client before she comes to make sure that she's not suffering with any symptoms of COVID. We're also supposed to contact people in advance with what measures are in place and what they have to do. And there are a lot of salons that are not doing that. No, we won't need that, Matt, because I just want to make sure everybody is understanding this. I think I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. There are hairdressers that have come in contact with clients who have had COVID, and the hairdresser, because they were wearing PPE, was not infected. Think about it. Nurses work in a COVID ward, right, with not very much more protection than you guys are using in the salons, right? So what we know is the PPE works. People have been in contact with clients and have not been infected. So we know the PPE works, right? All we need to do is we need to make sure in the salons we keep up our measures with our PPE, our social distancing, aka I'm going to go off on a tangent for a minute here because this is important. I will tell you where salons have fallen down. I know salons where they've been contacted, client came in, she'd got COVID. What do we need to do now? Okay, well, the first thing you have to do is you have to do a risk assessment. Who came in contact with the client? Okay, this person and this person. Did that person and that person come into contact with anybody else? And into contact means within 2 meters or 1 meter plus with PPE. Did they come into contact with anybody else in the salon? One salon owner said to me, yes. They've been in the staff room mixing without their PPE. In other words, they'd all gone back to normal. In the staff room, lots of them eating lunch all together, not 2 meters apart, not sanitizing. Guess what happened? They had to close the whole salon. So we must make sure that we keep the measures up all the time in the staff room, when people come in to work, minimize the amount of in and out. Don't let people, rushing in and out of the salon, getting their Christmas shopping. Don't do those things. Now, the other thing is this. Another salon owner has contacted me this week. Before lockdown, I knew about this. So this salon owner, in the salon, the team have not been following the measures outside of the salon, and they brought COVID into the salon, right? This was the last week. So after Boris said we'd got all closed down on the Saturday, right? That during those 4 days, they ended up with COVID in their salon because people, when the salon owner did the risk assessment, they'd not been following the measures outside, aka they'd been going to their friends' houses and having a party and etc. etc. Please don't do those things. We have a responsibility, a duty of care to our clients. When they come and sit in the chair, what the client believes is that we're professional and we are upholding the measures in the salon, but we are also upholding the measures outside of the salon, so we're not putting people at risk. We have a duty of care to do that, right? So please think about these things. I don't want to be a killjoy, right? Outside of these lockdown measures, I play golf at weekends, but I play golf within the measures, right? I go horse riding with my granddaughter, but we go horse riding within the measures. I go and have dinner with Daniel. We go to restaurants within the measures. But no, we don't like outside of the measures. In fact, I'm going to share something with you, is that some of the educators, when they are working at the academy here, if they live a long way away, when they're working here, if it's for a couple of days, often Daniel and I will have them come and stay with us at our house. And just before we locked down, we were tier 1 in this area, but one of the educators was coming from a tier 2 area. And I said, we'll have to put you in a hotel. You can't come to our house because tier 2, you weren't allowed to go to someone else's house, right? And so I said, not for any other reason that that's the right thing to do. So we paid for that educator to go in a hotel. I hope that everybody is understanding what it is I'm trying to say here. We have a duty of care to our colleagues and to our clients. Okay, so got 5 days off at Christmas. You take them if you like, Andy. I will be preferring not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm saying I prefer not. Look, I think what Boris has said is this. Everybody must make their own assessment of what is the right thing to do. But they've said this is the perimeter with which, you shouldn't go beyond. And that's what everybody must do. Common sense. I couldn't agree more with a Swedish husband. who, by the way, his family in Sweden have all had COVID tests now. And not one of his family has been, thank the Lord, has not been infected with COVID. So we're very grateful for that, right? But they haven't got all the restrictions we've got, but they are living like we're living by choice. What a concept! What a concept! They're not running around going berserk. Anyway, Matt's asking a question. It didn't come up in blue, but I've seen it. Was it a mistake for the government to close us down over these last 4 weeks, given the what, Matt? And I'll tell you what my opinion is, and then we're going to get on with the 4 R's. Given they have no intention to close us again. I believe Boris bitterly regrets closing down some aspects in the way that he did. He regrets not sticking to the tier system. He was kind of rolled into it. If you remember rightly, what happened was they had government meetings on the Friday. Somebody had leaked those meetings on the Saturday morning. Some of the newspapers I read was calling them Ratty Rat. Was that what they're calling them? Ratty Rat? Ratty Rat. They leaked it to the newspapers. And so Boris was kind of forced that Saturday when the nation went berserk, right? And they did. He was forced that Saturday to address the nation. And you might remember, if you're friends with me on social media, on that Saturday, I said, Boris better address the nation, right? Anyway, he did. And he put us into lockdown. And I believe he was rolled into that and kind of left with no option. Now, interesting that 2 of his very close advisors would have gone since then. Just saying. So I think he bitterly regrets it, and I don't think he'll do it again. It's serving no purpose, and it's causing the country untold amounts of problems, not just financially, but with people's well-being. I heard on the radio this morning they're even talking about some of these empty places are becoming rat infested. It doesn't surprise me. So, there are so many knock-on effects to all of this. But let's stay focused on what we're doing, because it's a great opportunity. Let's make sure in the next 3 weeks, or not in the 3 weeks from next Wednesday, you have 3 weeks of the busiest time of the year. Let's make sure you make the best opportunity for yourself, for your career. So the 4 R's, make sure you rebook your clients. And, hopefully one of the things that clients are coming to realize is that when they're rebooked, when they've got an appointment in our appointment book, they become a priority for us, because we take seriously our, it's a contract. When a client makes an appointment with us, it's a contract. They say, I'll come. We say, we'll do your hair. That's what it is, right? So we take that seriously. Now, how do we make sure that we rebook clients? Well, first of all, you must make sure that you tell the client the life cycle of her hair. So if you were doing my hair, you'd be telling me after about 4 or 5 weeks, Debbie, it'll be getting too long. There'll be no body in your hair. It'll be getting out of shape. This bit here will be curling out here. So we really need to be thinking about recutting your hair in 4, 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, right? A window between 4 and 8 weeks is what it will be. But also, so it's about the life cycle of the hair, but also visioning with the client forward, visioning and saying, do you know what I think will be really fantastic for your hair? We should do this or do that. So visioning with the client is really good because it gets her thinking about, the maintenance of her hair. Hair is an important part of our image. But you can only talk about hair being an important part of your client's image if it's an important part of your image. And if you turn up looking like the cleaner, right, with a scrap back ponytail, you are not giving the client the inspiration that she needs to look and say, wow, hair must become my most important thing, right? Hair is very important to me. Nails is very important to me. Guess who's got a nail appointment? 8 a.m. Actually, 7:30 a.m. on the 2nd. Hanging on to my nails for dear life, right? Hoping that I can make them last until next Wednesday. Ooh. So getting the client to really buy into how important her hair is to her image, her well-being, and you do this through example and through dialogue. And then when you say to the client, would you like to rebook, she jumps at it. But if you hijack her at the end and say, do you want to book another appointment? The answer's going to be no, thank you, right? So rebooking is an art. Right, it's not a question at the end of the service. Do you like that? Rebooking is an art. It's not a question at the end of the service. So we've got rebooking. The next slide, we've got the recommend a friend. And there are, remember I said we're not the only ones that are changing our mindset, that have had a reset and a rethink about what we do. Other people have had that. And so getting your clients to become your, if your client's delighted, she's going to be your best advocate. So making sure we're making the best of recommend a friend. Now, I want to give everybody this tip. I love this. I hope everybody here knows Kim. She's not with us right now because she's doing a training. For a salon, a Zoom training. They're doing that this morning, so she'll be catching up later. But I was talking to Kim earlier in the week, and she was telling me just before lockdown, she had 2 new clients. Now, if you know Kim, she's an extremely busy stylist. And she's she's top of the price scale. And if you're top of the price scale, really about the only way you're going to get a new client is if someone moves into your town and says, I want the most expensive hairdresser in town. That would be me. Or they would say they would come because they've been recommended by somebody. So she was telling me she had 2 new clients through recommend a friend the week before we were locked down. I said, wow, that's amazing, Kim. I said, what did you do? Right? Because as you know, whenever someone does something that's successful, I immediately want to know what it is. What did you do? Well, they have been at Feathers. They have a little plastic bag for the client, which has in there the disposable towel, the disposable gown. We have added... we didn't do this when we first went back because we didn't think we were allowed. But once restaurants were open, we realised that we're allowed to give a brochure as long as the client takes it away. So in there is a Euphora consultation card, because if you've used Euphora consultation cards and used them properly, one of the things that you will know is it elevates retail tremendously. Okay. I don't know if, just going to see if... and if some of you have had that experience, right, maybe you will just put on here, yes, use the consultation card. So they put in there in this plastic bag. Anyway, she started putting the recommend a friend card in there, right, because that's the correct way to do it, taking into consideration the measures. We shouldn't just be picking up a card from reception and giving it to the client. It should be presented in that COVID secure way. So the client takes the recommend a friend card out of the pack, right? And the hairdresser says, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Just put it on the workstation there. So the client now puts the card in front of her on the workstation, and there it is. And that's what they've started doing. She got 2 new clients the week before lockdown. This is a stylist that really doesn't need the new clients. I mean, everyone needs new clients, but you know what I'm saying. Not like some stylists that got lots of gaps, right? But anyway, so little tip there for recommend a friend, okay? And we know it works because it worked for her, right? So that's really good. Okay, so the next one is asking clients for the review. When we did when we did campaigns, we talked a little bit about reviews. It's very, very important, the reviews, because social media is really noise. And those that shout loudest, right, get the most attention. Now, the beautiful thing about a review is it's a piece of content that you can use and reuse, right? And it is a very, very loud voice, and it's not yours, right? So it speaks volumes. So ask your client for a review. It costs your client nothing but a little bit of time. And if she's really happy with what you've done, this is such a great opportunity to be able to promote yourself and promote your business, right? So ask your client, if you're happy today, would you please give us a review? It would mean so much to us. It's a very important part of building the reputation of our business, and it is, okay? So make sure that you've got that dialogue. Make sure that you use that opportunity. It's massive. And then, of course, the last one is retail. And this is a very important part. One of the things that has happened, retail in salons has grown. So if it hasn't grown for you, then you're not making the most of that opportunity. But retail has grown exponentially. Clients, there's a few things. I mean, why do we think retail has grown? Let's get some of we've got 5 minutes. Let's get some of your feedback. Why has retail grown in salons? Yeah, because of the shop local and the shop independent campaigns, correct? What else? Have we got any other? I don't suppose we've got any other Welsh salons here live with us, but they can tell us because they're back. People are investing more because they couldn't see us or get to us, and they have realised the importance of their hair and products, etc., etc. Yeah, clients have more money to spare, and whilst we could end up with a mindset that, oh, no one's got any money because they're all losing their jobs. Yes, some people are losing their jobs, but for the vast majority of people right now, they've actually got more money, right? And less opportunity to spend it, because so many people, I am not interested in going shopping, wandering in and out of shops. Forget it. I don't want to do it. However, I've got Christmas presents to buy, and I'll be so grateful for some ideas and easy ways to buy them, because I want to shop local. I want to shop independent. I do not want to do my shopping online. I don't want to do that. So, the online shoppers, Salon Love is a great opportunity for us to help our clients support us. Remember, it comes beautifully gift wrapped. Your clients, by the way, let's say you've got a client in chair and she says, oh, who's left on your list? Well, I haven't got anything for my nieces and I'm not even sure I'm going to see them. I mean, we could pack up unicorn brushes, leopard brushes, clips, H.H. Simonson pocket stylers of £55. Or you could give a personal recommendation if it's a teenager. Is she straightening her hair or curling her hair with irons? Yes, she is. Let me recommend a heat shield and some clips. And it's such an easy thing to do, and we can have it shipped directly to her nieces, right? So, people are more aware of what they're using. They want to look after their hair more. Our education to promote. Yes, Gary, I agree. And it's a safer and easier way to buy, right, than having to shop around. Who wants to go to Boots and stand in front of the aisle going, I realise there are still some of those people around. That's what's causing some of the problems. But for the most part, it's not what a lot of people want to do. So people have time to invest in themselves and look at what they have currently and update. Yes, you're right. And that connection between our hair and the way we look and our well-being has really been amplified, right? So these are all opportunities that if we sit and think about really think about, how do I make the most of these opportunities? How do I communicate with my client? What do I need to say? What do I need to do? Does the salon look like a shopping environment where the client says, oh, do you know what? Maybe my friend would like something here. Show me a picture of your friend. Or let me recommend this for her. I think she'll love it. So there are lots of ways that we can help people this Christmas. Yep, the lipstick effect. Carly, the lipstick effect is actually more prevalent in recessions. And right now, whilst they are predicting that we're going to go back into recession because we came out of it, but now they're saying, they're saying we're going to go back into it. Whilst they're saying that, lipstick effect is actually disposable income. Lots of people have got more disposable income because they've not been on holidays, not been shopping, not been going to restaurants, etc., etc. So people's personal bank balances, if you like, for many people are very, very good. So there we have it. Fantastic opportunities for us when we go back next week. It's only left for me to say, really enjoyed doing this 6 of the best, this series of webinars. We will be going back to our online academy webinar program. One of the things, Daniel's will be the last Friday of every month, when he will talk about what opportunities exist. You don't necessarily have to wait for that. If you want to know what opportunities exist, you can call him anytime and ask him or message him. But it'll be the last Friday of the month. Coffee with Daniel, always a good way to be able to find out, what you could be doing in the next month to promote your business and your sales. Then my webinars, they've been falling in the same week, and one of the things we want to do is we want to get the rhythm so that it's once every 2 weeks, so that my Wednesday webinars, Business Bite, will be in the middle there. So good luck for everybody next week. You know where we are. If you need anything, we are here for you. Whatever you need. We will be releasing the as soon as the measures come out tomorrow, we will be releasing our academy dates for next year. So we need to get that back up and running and back rolling, as it were. And all that is left for me is to say good luck next week, everybody. Okay, and be awesome.